and here we go. Hello and welcome to Morning Fuel. I am your host, John Bundy, and you are here because you believe in the power of the spoken word and its ability to change lives, and that by sharing our stories, we can help others to overcome challenges that they cannot overcome on their own. Whether it's a victory you need to win in business or in your own personal life, you understand that answers can be found in listening to others who are willing to share their stories, knowing that their story ultimately doesn't belong to them. All right, today's guest believes that today, more than ever, the world needs more confident leaders to be that beacon of light and hope as history is being made. Understanding that one benefit of dressing well is the confidence you gain from taking the time to build value by investing in better suits, shirts, and accessories that reflect the person you've become. He says you can't put a price on confidence because its power is far-reaching and it is more of what we need today. With over 30 years of experience in customizing success wardrobes for executives, where each piece fits together and has a purpose, please help me in welcoming to the Morning Fuel podcast family, founder of Wolf Gate Clothiers, serving male executives worldwide, Keith Thorogood. Keith, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I've been looking forward to this since the day that we met in First Watch in Newport News, man.
Same here.
Excited to be here, and so educated. I feel educated. You gave me an education when you showed me how you. I felt like my mind was growing, not just in understanding about the confidence you get from wearing, but the color science and the type of cloth and how that feels in the different seasons. And then just, it is one of those things where, you can hear something like that and somebody who loves doing what they do coming out as they're doing it, it just makes you want to be involved. And, it makes me start thinking about that wonderful wardrobe that I'll have one day, building it with your help.
Absolutely.
I'm excited about that.
Absolutely.
Very excited about
Absolutely.
that. So tell us about how you got started. So before Clark Kent became Superman, so when did Keith Thorogood start into this journey?
This journey started when I was about 16 years old. I was working in the shoe business with General Shoe Corporation in one of the malls, and I got promoted relatively quickly over a 1.5-year period. Started my career with that company in Richmond. Then I went to Cleveland, Ohio, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Detroit, Michigan. But what was interesting when I was in Cleveland, a lot of the guys back then, and this is in the 80s, they would come into my store with the GQ magazine.
Okay. I remember that.
And they would open up the GQ magazine and they would point to a particular shoe that GQ had that was a high-end model. We make copies of those types of shoes that were relatively inexpensive.
Sure.
But in these guys coming in with GQ, and I'm seeing the style and the dress and everything like that, it got me excited. And I was wearing, very high-end clothing, running these different operations. And as I got older, I noticed that people who dressed well were treated differently. And I was carrying a briefcase and wearing these great clothing and driving a really nice car. And that habit kind of pursued me the rest of my career. So everything that I did in retail, I would always, be the top person in sales. I eventually went into the office products business, and this was maybe 25 years after that. And I was in the office products business doing well, and I had my secretary gave me some information that was really impressive looking. It was a brochure about some organization that did clothing, and I reached out to them and learned the business. And I was with them for a number of years, a little bit over a decade, and then 20 so years ago I started Wolf Gate Clothiers. Basically wanted to focus more on the individual and building a relationship with that person, not being tied to numbers and trying to be competitive with anybody else, but genuinely caring for that individual to help them to get this other aspect of their life. And doing that, what I'm doing is building a lifestyle for that client. It isn't just, getting a few pieces from me and, you take care of yourself. A lot of my clients have been with me for 10, 15, 20, and 25 years. And in some cases, I'm actually making clothing for their children who were babies
wow, that's
back
fantastic.
in the day.
Man, what a legacy right there.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It is absolutely
So
extraordinary.
you, when you transitioned from working for someone to working for yourself, what was that like? And do you remember your first client?
Absolutely.
Oh, come on, man. Tell me about that.
What it was like, it was daunting in the beginning because now I am leaving my safe haven and I am branching out on my own. You want to know what I did? I literally went to my closest clients and I asked them basically what was going on with me because we cared about each other.
Sure.
Okay? And they would say, Keith, if you don't do it, this is going to haunt you for the rest of your life.
Regrets, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if you don't at least try.
Oh, yeah. I have to try.
Yeah, man.
I have to try. So with their support, and I'm going into a similar business from what I was, trained in.
Sure.
I went out, left the company. Literally 24 hours later, I had my first check
from
a client. Man. I still have a copy of that check.
Almost like, well, no, not almost like, absolutely like that was meant to be.
Yeah, it was seriously meant to be.
Yeah.
And he's still a client.
That's wonderful.
And it is just magnificent. And what I've been able to accomplish in being self-employed has allowed me to have the lifestyle that I have the circle of influence that I have.
Right.
And the biggest thing is the value that it did for me in having time with my family, my wife, my children, my mom, those types of things. And as I had mentioned, some personal things have happened over the years.
Right.
If it had not been for God's grace and mercy and my decision that He gave me in spending time with the people that I love, I would not be sitting here with you right now.
Right.
The way that I am,
Sure.
excited about life.
Sure. Well, I knew that about you at our first meeting, that you're a man of faith. We both sat there, across from each other, never met each other, and here's a couple of brothers sitting down and talking.
Yep.
And the father's right there. We felt it, so that's phenomenal. So, that kind of, it does. You talked about hardship. And I know some of your story, and you don't have to share that here. No. But a big part of what we do with Morning Fuel now, Morning Fuel was born out of a very tough struggle that I had. I was working at the shipyard. I was in a makeup supervisor role there. But my passion has been, one of my passions is cooking. Okay. And I had the opportunity to go to work under a James Beard nominated chef in Portsmouth. And I took that opportunity, a big risk. But when I left the shipyard, the restaurant failed, and he couldn't keep me.
Okay.
So I lost 2 jobs within the course. I left one job and then lost the dream job within the course of about 2 weeks.
Wow.
And it almost took me out. So what happened was I was led to some methods that brought me back out of this funk that I thought I was going to I thought I was just going to fade away.
Sure.
I was so depressed and anxious, and it had to do with my morning routine.
Okay.
So the Morning Fuel was born from that morning routine, and it was all based around, of course, God led me to that routine, and part of it is prayer, meditation, kind of all that stuff. So all that to say this, when you stepped out into business, and it is that daunting, what was the fuel to keep you going through the tough times in business at the beginning?
The fuel for me was that I had to win.
Okay.
You know, my desire was to give the love of my life the best that I could offer. And we didn't need anything.
Right.
But John, it was literally the person I became to be able to do this for her.
Wow.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we just had this unbelievable love affair. And that was my power. My mom, my sister, those relationships that I had with them, they were very important in my growth and
Sure.
my expectation for success. And mainly just to see what it all looked like. And because I was able to do that, you know, I was able to have a successful marriage, a successful business, my children doing well, clients care about me, I care about them.
Right.
And it's just been wonderful.
It sounds like a dream, like business. It just sounds like a dream life.
Well, it basically is. I mean, literally, I'm doing business with, one client is researched his family back to Charlemagne. He has 3
wow.
presidents in his lineage. I've worked with world-renowned surgeons, professional athletes, Fortune 500 CEOs and presidents. It just goes on and on.
That's
and
wonderful.
on. Up-and-coming young executives. One situation, one gentleman that I did business with had small children. Years later, the daughter takes over the business, and she gets in contact with me, and she says, I remember what you did for my dad, and, I end up doing business with her.
That's
you know what
great.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I love what I do.
That's great.
And it's okay that the person I'm doing business with has absolutely no idea of what's going to happen, but you know what I do? And I hold that candle for them until they can see it for themselves.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's phenomenal. So, difficulties that have come up either in business and personal life,
Okay.
that have taught you lessons. Do you have one that maybe sticks out? I've been calling this the what the fail portion of the show, and that is, something that came up to where it could have maybe taken you out. It could have caused you to go in a different direction away from your passion. Do you have any examples of those things in your life?
Yeah, one. I did business with a client. This is during the early part of the downturn of the economy.
Okay, with 2008, 2009?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this particular situation was a wardrobe for a male and a female, and something happened with his business. He wasn't able to pick up the order, basically.
Oh, wow.
And I was left into a situation that I had a product that I could not deliver, so I could not get the balance.
Right.
And it was literally a turning point for me. It was
You had to make a big decision at that point.
big decision. And it was a learning experience, and I took the loss, but I changed the dynamics of how I do business.
Okay.
And on the type of client that I do well with. And I have absolutely no regret. It was a good learning experience.
Sure.
But overall, people who see and are somewhat familiar with what I do, they will always be in a position to afford what I do.
Right.
So it's just a matter of them knowing that I exist, that my services are available, and it works.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So it's a matter of getting in front of the right eyes and the right ears. Fantastic. Well, we hope to be able to do some of that for you with this. That's part of the purpose of this. I love hearing stories. I love meeting people. And I really love sharing the stories we hear because, your quick little 5-minute talk about how you had that difficult thing happen in business. Somebody's going through that right now with theirs, and they have to make a decision now, and they may hear this, so it'll help them.
Well, one thing I want to add to that is really important, is that God is in control of everything.
Yeah, he is.
And a turning point for me significantly, because, I'm somewhat competitive. I want to, achieve and accomplish things. But when I was overwhelmed with whatever what that was going on, it just came upon me. I have absolutely no control over nothing.
Right.
I have no control over what people will decide or not decide. The rising of the sun,
Right.
I have no control over any of that.
Yeah.
God is in control of everything, and God has a purpose for everything. And when I got to that point, that I know that God's love is all I need to take me through whatever is going through, I had a peace that came over me that settled my spirit.
Right.
And I just calmed down and just let things go. And something that's always helpful that I did also is that when it became overwhelming, I literally just shut down. I stopped. I rested. I took time just to have peace because I have no control over whatever's going on. And every time I had done that, things always turned around, opportunity opened up. God had a blessing waiting for me.
I love it. I love it, and I've experienced that myself. I love that. I love hearing that. So when it comes to the future for Wolf Gate Clothiers, when it comes to the future for Keith Thorogood, what do you see? What do you see? And also, what do you need most right now?
The future for Wolf Gate Clothiers is continuing spreading joy and happiness. And that is giving people an opportunity to use my services, my expertise, in helping them become all that they're capable of becoming. I would like to do things that are more educational for individuals that may not be able to afford my services, but to possibly do something similar to what you're doing here, offering my services as a consultant, going into companies, doing Dress for Success programs, talking with retired military. That is a situation that, a person who has gone up the ranks in on armed services or whatever, they have to go out into the public realm. And they have to be interviewed by these companies, and these people were once officers. And the only problem is that they can't wear all of those items, of their rank into these interviews. They're sitting there with someone looking at their bio, their resume, and they're amongst 40 or 50 other people. So what I'm able to do for them is to have them well-positioned visually.
Right.
So that when they walk into whatever environment they're in, to ask for a particular position and have the expectation of getting compensation that's in value to what they've accomplished, that's what I do for people. That's what I can do for them.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Wonderful. So how can people reach you on social media? How do people get in touch with you?
Okay. They can reach me at 757-639-9462. That's my direct phone number.
Okay.
I can be found on Wolf Gate Clothiers on Facebook, and I'm on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn as well. Okay, excellent. Phenomenal. Keith, very, very good to meet you. I'm excited to see what the future holds for Wolf Gate and what the future holds for you. And I'm excited to share this and have people think differently about the way that they look and what can be done about it, and that there is help out there for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time,
Keith,
John.
thank you. Thank you.